the shooter was spotted 30 minutes before the shooting on the roof.
Yeah.
So what's happening here? Because just again for our gentle viewers, that the location of this was in a very open area. There weren't many buildings around.
Yep.
And the Secret Service would have been very easily able to put people or monitor those roofs in that time. But apparently the roof was... And there's actually footage from attendees of the rally filming the guy on the roof minutes before he shoots and actually trying to alert police to it. So what's happening there?
Many things. I mean, a lot of this... It's either incompetence or it's a conspiracy. So let's look at the incompetence first, then we'll talk about the conspiracy. So, incompetence. There's a man on the roof and it looks like he's got a gun. Shall we shoot him? Well, we don't know. Can we shoot him? It doesn't look, is that a real gun? Or is that just some 17-year-old kid messing around and we're going to shoot him dead? This isn't the president we're protecting here. Don't forget, it's all different when it's the president. This is a campaigner. What happens if we shoot him and it turns out to be a 17-year-old kid messing around and we shoot him dead live on TV? So they're going through that. How did he get on the roof? Which, don't forget, they'll have different barriers to get through. So there'll be the people on the stage who get this close to Trump. They're patted down because most assassinations are handguns. Then there'll be people in the audience. They will go through metal detectors and stuff like that. And then there'll be the people who are not in any secure zones, but there'll be high-rise buildings overlooking. So they'll have like local police officers patrolling those buildings, making sure you can't get on the roof. So we need to find out, where did that break down? Because I believe he was outside the secure areas. He was on the roof outside.
I think so. I think he was outside a set of barriers. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's outside. So were the police officers who were told to guard those particular points, were they there or did they go get a coffee? We're nobodies. We're not even in secure area. I know they've told us to guard this, but who cares? Let's go get a coffee, or there was a fight round the corner, or they get dragged off because of an Antifa protest. What's happened there? Because all this would have been looked at. All this would have been part of the plan of the Secret Service. So what happened there? Once this guy was highlighted by members of the public, why did it take so long? We've got a potential threat now on the roof. We don't know if we can shoot him or not. Let's get Trump off stage.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
That then should have been, let's just walk up.
That's a really good point. I've not heard that before.
Let's get Trump off. We don't know if we can shoot this kid.
Yeah.
So let's move the guy who is going to shoot.
Or get people around him.
Yeah. And let's not, run on the stage and embarrass Trump and jump on him. Let's go, walk on it this way, sir. Yeah. And until we've sorted out that threat. So again, why didn't they do that? Where's the incompetency there? There's a reason why most assassinations of political leaders are not done by rifles. It's because it's so hard to shoot somebody with a rifle from a distance, because unless you're standing still, then it's very hard. You don't know the crosswinds, the distance, how long you got to train to do it, what sort of weapon have you got. It's very hard to kill someone with a rifle. Hence why they always want to get close to you, because you can't miss when you're 2 foot away. So who is this kid to be the only? From what I've seen, the only reason it didn't hit Trump in the head because he went like that talking.
He moves his head quickly.
It went like that. That's how hard it is to shoot someone. And he was going for a headshot.
Yeah.
Who is this kid? Where's his experience of shooting rifles? That's what I would want to look at, because to do that, he'll have a record of being a really good rifle shooter or hunter. Is that true? I don't know.
It wasn't that long a distance. It was about 170 yards, which isn't long for. I mean, I've got air rifles and I've got scopes on them that I use when I'm in Wales, and 170 yards is not a big distance with a good scope. However, if you're pumping with adrenaline, you're under pressure, feeling stress, it is a hard shot.
And you've got a moving target.
Yeah, it's a hard shot. Yeah. If you're under calm conditions, that's not a long distance to shoot a rifle. If you think about it, 170 yards isn't long at all. With a telescopic scope, certainly. Yeah. I think if you're under pressure, under stress, worried, people are shouting or whatever, then it might be a difficult shot.
Yeah.
So
Having a telescopic sight is fine, but that has to be calibrated to the rifle.
correct.
You just don't, as you know, you don't just stick a scope on a rifle. It's
It's got to be one that you've got to have lined it.
Lined it all up.
Previously,
so all this takes experience, takes time. You've got to know what you're doing. So I want to see where the incompetence was and where the failings were on this. That's if it was incompetent.
Yeah.
Now let's look at conspiracy. I mean, the conspiracy theories have gone mental straight away.
Yeah. I'd like to preface your conspiracy theories with 2 words: deep state.
Yeah.
So when we talk about conspiracy, I'm interested to know if you think what is called deep state is involved, basically. Because deep state conspiracy means the state, the government, involved in a conspiracy to kill Trump.
Yeah. So, it doesn't mean the government per se, as in who's in charge of the government, the political leaders. What it means is the people who hold the levers of power behind the scenes. People we don't know their names.
Who may be there before that, so to speak.
Yeah. So, humans have a history of assassinating their leaders. Look what happened to Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
So, it's happened before, it'll happen again, where we kill our own leaders. So there could be a conspiracy here. It's obvious that there's many vested interests in America and around the world who don't want Trump to win. Not because they disagree with his policies, because they're fearful of him, because they know what he's going to do. They know he's going to be a wrecking ball to the status quo that they've spent 100 years building because they gain benefits from the status quo. So there's lots of people out there, very powerful people who could want him killed. If this is a conspiracy, and don't forget the definition of conspiracy is 2 or more people involved. That's a definition of conspiracy.
Yeah.
So was this kid a patsy? Was this kid...
What's his name, by the way? Do you remember?
I can't remember now. Was this kid put on that roof to be a distraction because someone else was taking the shot? Was this kid put on the roof and someone knew he was on the roof? I don't believe it's a conspiracy where the Secret Service is involved and these people are involved because you can't keep secrets like that. The more people who know what went on, the more they tell their girlfriends, their boyfriends, their psychiatrists. They have a breakdown, they put it on Twitter. If this is a conspiracy, no more than a handful of people, no more than 5 people know what went on. And a lot of the people who may be involved don't even know who else is involved. So it is possible that deep state is involved in this because they don't want him to be president. I actually said to you several times now on different podcasts that his court case was about getting him in jail, and if they got him in jail, he was never coming out. And now that's not. Now they can't get him in jail. Is this plan B?
Well, I think that's what we talked about. I was going to mention this in previous podcasts. We talked about this, and I mentioned, I think, that Tucker Carlson, after the court case had fallen over, said, now all they can do is assassinate him. And then that started being echoed around. And I came here and I said, is this as now being foreshadowed? Because this has happened, you and I have talked about this before, where you will hear something very unusual, somebody say it, and it's foreshadowing the actual reality happening later on. And suddenly everybody started talking about assassination after the court case. And you and I then talked about it, and I think I said to you, is this what's next? And I think, obviously you had an opinion on that.
Yeah.
And it happened.
He's so lucky he's alive.
Yeah.
And if he'd have died, I don't know what would have happened to America.
Yeah.
I don't know if America would be burning now.
Yeah.
Mass deaths, mass shootings.
Yeah.
Half of America wouldn't have accepted that.
No. I'm going to ask you a question now, and I don't know if you'll have the answer to this one, and I've deliberately left it vague. So this is more to me, or this is more than a simple presidential assassination attempt. But people can't quite see this yet. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
What?
You don't assassinate weak leaders. You don't assassinate people who won't disrupt the status quo. That's why JFK was killed, because JFK was the Vietnam War hadn't really started. He was, from what I've read, he was going to ensure it never started, and all those £1 billion companies all would have lost revenue, because that's how you make money, is through war.
But the reason this is different, and my wife pointed this out to me, and I'm not allowed to say a name now. She's told me off for saying a name. This is not a president. JFK was a president.
Yeah.
Reagan was a president. Because they've even said, the last time this happened was 1981. But it wasn't. This has never happened before. Because this is a candidate to be president. So I think this is the most chilling thing for me. And when I won't tell her, I can't say her name. When my wife pointed it out, it kind of struck home for me, really. This is an attempt to assassinate somebody who isn't a president, but who has the potential to be a president. Yeah. So this is a preemptive assassination.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because the second you're president, it's so much harder to kill you.
That's true. Yeah.
It's so much easier when you're just a candidate, because even though you have protection from the Secret Service, it's not as much as the president gets. And rightly so, because the president is the United States.
But where else do you see this happening? You don't see this happening in America or in the UK. You only ever see candidates being killed in places like Russia, in places like South America, in Africa, in China. We've seen it in China, North Korea.
Yeah.
North Korea, what's he called? The little fat bloke.
Yeah.
He has had numerous challenges to his authority killed.
Yeah.
This is something you see in what I would call banana republics, third world countries. When was the last time a presidential candidate was assassinated in America, or an attempt at assassination?
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
No.
And that's why this is different, because this is now presenting America to me as a country that is no longer a functioning democracy, because they're exhibiting the same traits as a lot of these countries that we regard as totalitarian or communist or whatever it might be.
I think it also shows that they think he's going to win.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think he's definitely going to win now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.